let's look at the outsole of a shoe. And different shoes have a different amounts of rubber on the bottom. Once again, race day shoes are going to typically have a lot less. So this is the original Nike Streak Fly. And you'll notice that there is no basically rubber. There's like a little small rubber pad here and a little small rubber pad here, and then just exposed midsole foam here, and then a bigger section of rubber in the front. This is a race day shoe designed to be very, very fast. The upper on this shoe is basically see-through, but much less rubber coverage than something like this that has rubber over the whole shoe. And so once again, the Mizuno Neo Vista is a great daily shoe, a great long run shoe, plenty of cushion to keep you going the whole thing. But some things I want to point out is if I take my shoe, the outside of my shoe, if I'm running, the outside edge of the shoe, that is your lateral side. The inside is your medial side. So if you come down, when you're running, if you come down on the outside and then go through your gait cycle there with your foot, that is called supination. So if you tend to come down on the outside of if where you land, where your foot touches the ground is on the outside of the shoe, that is supination. Whereas if it comes down on the inside of your shoe, that is called pronation. So supination over here, pronation coming down more on the medial side or the inside as your foot touches the ground. Now, there are a lot of people who are going to tell you a lot of things about pronation and supination, and really, when they get into that, they're going to be talking about structure and stability that you need as a runner to keep your foot kind of centered. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm going to tell you my opinion is run how you feel comfortable. A lot of times shoes can help with that. And so if you are experiencing pain in your ankles, your knees, or even your hips, a lot of times that can come from landing on the inside of your foot or pronating. And if you're doing that, maybe a stability shoe is something that can help you with that. And you can look those up online. You can go to a running shoe store and you can show them the bottoms of your shoe and be like, hey, look at how the inside of my shoe is chewed up more so than the outside of my shoe. Now, if you look at my shoes, you'll find that the outside of my shoe is torn up way more than the inside. That's because when my foot hits the ground, it's typically going to be towards the middle, towards the heel. So if this is the heel, and this is the midfoot, and this is the forefoot as I land, my shoe is typically going to tear up more in that mid to heel area on the lateral side. So I supinate. So typically the way my foot is going to hit the ground is it's going to be a little bit outside, and then it's going to roll, and then I'm going to toe off on the inside. And so you'll notice that the inside of my shoes are going to be more torn up towards the front, and the outside of my shoes are going to be torn up more towards the back. So those are some things you can learn from just looking at the bottom of your shoes, from looking at the outsoles. The more that you run, so you just look at the bottom of your shoe, and it'll tell you what kind of foot strike you have, how your foot strikes the ground, and that can really help in determining what kind of running shoe that you need. Typically, there's stability shoes, which is for people who are typically going to pronate, that kind of helps level them out a little bit, provides a little bit of some sort of plastic post typically on the inside, or they might make the foam more dense on the inside of your shoe to help keep your foot from rocking in as you're running. But you can have a stability shoe or a neutral shoe. Typically, I am a neutral runner, meaning that I don't run in stability shoes. I just run in neutral shoes. Now, that said, there are a lot of people who would tell you that even if you do pronate, maybe you don't need a stability shoe as long as you're remaining healthy. If you're not experiencing knee trouble, or because a lot of people complain about knee trouble. A lot of times knee trouble is actually something beginning in the foot or ankle area. So just throwing that out there is something to think through. If you don't have any pain, then maybe you don't need a stability shoe. Maybe you can, maybe you're just, your body is, your mechanics work that way, and that's perfectly fine. So those are some things that you can see from the outsole.